Dr.
is my
Johnson, did you
opinion.
have any comments about this Katt Williams controversy that's really going strong?
I didn't get a chance to watch the whole interview. Of course, I saw the snippets and everything. I think Katt Williams might be the funniest comic. He also tends to deal with a lot of political topics as well. I just think we need to spend our energy on a lot more constructive things.
Mm-hmm.
He told his truth, but it was just a lot of, gossip and
Mm-hmm.
beef and, slander. And, he told his truth, but it didn't add anything to the black community, but more gossip and more nonsense.
More distraction.
But I like Katt as a comedian, but there was nothing productive about that. It went viral and might be the most viewed interview in YouTube history, but it's because it shows you how much black people love mess. If he would have been on there talking about what we need to do for ourselves, he might have not got 1,000 views.
Yeah. You said that you were on your way to California to do a show with Nick Cannon. How did that go?
Yes, sir. Nick Cannon has a new show coming out called Cancel Culture. He said he wanted to push back against the cancel culture of American society and the black community in particular, where when people don't agree with you or if you make a mistake, they just want to cancel you altogether. So he said we need to start counseling people instead of canceling people. And so his new show is going to be called Cancel Culture. It's almost set up, Baba, where it's like a therapy couch. And it's, he has it looking like a counseling room, a counseling station. And he brings topics up and we discuss it. And I think we had a great conversation, Bob. I think the Nick Cannon interview is going to be one for the ages. I just felt that we really, were both humble. We didn't come from our ego, even though we disagreed on several of the topics, interracial dating, the use of the N-word, black celebrities wearing dresses in Hollywood. We was at the opposite ends of the spectrum on our perceptions, but it was a very good, very balanced conversation between Nick Cannon and I. So I'm looking forward to him putting that out. I'm waiting on him to let me know when and where and how people can actually see it.
And speaking about men in dresses, I was just watching Marlon Wayans. He was trying to defend men in dresses. Still don't see the necessity of putting men in dresses where they can put women in dresses.
Especially at this time, because first of all, I don't think it was ever appropriate because, as you know, from an African cultural perspective, God is very particular with regard to what spirit he puts in a female body versus what spirit he puts into a male body. So in our culture, coming from a perspective of complementarity and the balance of polarity, it's a serious spiritual infraction against the divine for a man to misrepresent himself as a woman and vice versa. So it was never okay, but it's even more critical right now, Baba, because as you know, there's a whole agenda against our children. So when black boys see a masculine black man who they've been looking up to most of their life suddenly dress up like a woman and come on television within the context of them already being, bombarded with all this transgender propaganda in school and society, I think it can end up opening up some curiosity that can lead to a lot of our sons getting trapped into that lifestyle.
Now, in your travels to Africa, have you run into that?
I do know that Ghana and Nigeria, I do believe that they have had LGBTQ pride parades. I do know there is a movement in South Africa that's growing, pushing the LGBTQ. But as you and I know, this is nothing but population control in disguise. But unfortunately, too many of our young people don't understand that this is nothing more than genocide under another name. And I don't know what it's going to take for black people to wake up and smell the coffee. I mean, when your child undergoes sexual reassignment surgery, Baba, they remove the testicles and the ovaries. They remove them. And if you ever decide that you want to revert back to your natural God-given gender, you won't be able to reproduce yourself.
Wow.
I can't believe we are literally letting children sterilize themselves in the name of gender fluidity. It's ridiculous.
Wow. And you mentioned a moment ago about spirituality, and I heard one of your speaking engagements where you said that have no souls. Could you tell us about
Yes,
that?
indeed. Or I doubt whether they do, because I don't see how they could possibly engage in the behavior that they have for the past 500 years and have a soul. Because if you have a soul, you have a natural, internal, ethical standard in judge. Your soul, you will feel guilty and shameful for doing bad things to people. And when you're able to override, your soul, then that you're talking about a psychopathic personality, somebody who can kill without remorse. You have overridden your soul. But in the case of Caucasians, they've been doing what they've been doing so uniformly, so collectively, so for so long, you got to question whether they have a soul. If they do, it has to be a very underdeveloped soul, because I don't see how anybody's soul could let them do the things has been capable of this past 500 years.
Between Biden and Trump, who I believe is going to get the Republican nomination. So what's your take on it?
More of the same for us, because neither party has any interest in addressing the needs that matter to African people. So it doesn't matter who wins, we're going to get the same thing. Whether they're Democrat or Republican, they have the same vision for African people, and that's genocide. And we're largely responsible for this because we have literally multiculturalized ourselves into a corner that allows the government to take care of all these other non-white people and ignore black people, because every time we open our mouth, we have to speak for everybody, not just ourselves. So our failure to prioritize our own agenda has inadvertently supported white supremacy's agenda in ignoring black people in deference to brown people. So I think we still have a chance where we can make our vote matter for us. It always matters for them, but we need to make our vote matter for us, because it has not been mattering for us because we have not unaligned ourselves with either major party, come together and decide to vote as a block. We should be voting for the interests of black people, not for the interests of Democrats, not for the interests of Republicans. We shouldn't even belong to them parties. They're two white racist institutions. But black people need to come together, build a black political union, force the nominee from both major parties to come and have a conversation with us, talk to us, answer our questions, and then once they leave, we debate it out, scream it out, argue it out, and decide who we're going to vote for, and whether we get the candidate we want or not. We have to close ranks in unity and vote for the same candidate to show that we have the ability to stick together politically. It only takes one election. All Black America has to do is show political solidarity for one election, and we will automatically restore the fear that people should naturally have for the black vote. If we don't do that, if we keep on letting our interests be sectionalized between Democrat and Republican interests, they're going to keep on ignoring us. Democrats don't have to take you seriously because they know you're going to vote for them regardless. Obama showed you that. And Republicans don't have to take you seriously because they know you see them as the devil. They will never even consider their voice anyway. So until we make both parties wake up and smell the coffee, we're going to keep on being treated, as Brother Malcolm said, as a political football.
And I wanted to know your opinion, Dr. Umar Johnson, about the state of black relationships here in America.
It's not good, not amongst the young. All they doing is fighting each other, men and women constantly bashing and blaming each other, for what's going on. I just think Black America is beginning to self-destruct psychologically. We have unaddressed trauma from our personal life. We have unaddressed trauma from our collective experience in America. We've been hypnotized with white capitalism. We don't raise our children with any type of spiritual foundation anymore. And everyone simply thinks that the best way to become an American is to buy and own as much as I can. So I think we need to start having dialogues. The Black psychologists, we need to step up, and we need to really start implementing, some community treatment programs to help our people heal. Because right now, in my opinion, the number one problem in Black America is the psychological unhealthiness of our people. I think it has a lot to do with the black-on-black crime. The young people are not just killing each other over drugs and territory. A lot of it is unprocessed trauma. So it's time for us to heal before we kill ourselves.
I agree totally, because the state of black male and female relationships is really at a critical stage. You know, a lot of black females are saying, I could do better by myself. I don't need no man to do nothing for me. You got a lot of brothers becoming passport brothers, going out of the country, seeking relationships. I was really sad the other day. I saw the 76ers baseball player and his Caucasian wife. I was saying so many of these NFL and NBA players, they get Caucasian wives because they don't want to deal with the drama that a lot of the black females bring. And so it's really critical. We got to do something about it.